Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the officers and the members of the Millar Memorial Flute Band, I bid you all a hearty welcome and thank everyone for their support in this, the first part of our project called Marching Through COVID, Nurturing the Youth, funded by Belfast City Council through their programme, a city imaging cultural leadership support, more of which you'll find out in just a few moments. Firstly, let me take a few moments to explain the House rules to ensure everybody's safety. In line with the COVID-19 regulations, can I remind people that when moving around, they should be wearing a face mask unless otherwise exempt. Face masks are available at the hotel information desk if you require one. I understand when you're seated, you can remove your mask. If you're playing a flute, please remove your mask first. There are no planned fire drills, so please, if the alarm sounds, treat it seriously and vacate the building using the main entrance. Smoking is only permitted in the garden area through the doors to my left. Toilets are located at the rear of the room. And finally, can we please ensure that all mobile phones are on silent. Our first speaker tonight works tirelessly on behalf of the Millar Memorial and has played a key role in the production of this publication. He plays a number of very important roles within our band. He is the chairman and he is the conductor. And in long bus journeys, he's always good for a song or two. Ladies and gentlemen, James Millar.
Thanks to Billy. To Barron Dodds of Duncairn, members of Belfast City Council, the County Grand Master of the County Grand Orange Lodge of Belfast, and other members of the Loyal Orders, our President and Vice Presidents, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow band members. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all here tonight for our book launch. I think it was fitting that we had it here tonight in this venue, as it's been our spiritual home for the last 110 years. There's a number of people I wanted to thank, but first of all I just wanted to talk a little bit about why we decided to launch a book at this stage, and then also whilst working on it with the author, a few of the things that jumped out at me and sort of made me think, my goodness, that's really, really interesting, some amount of years. So the first thing was we wanted to get our unique story out there. It's a story that not too many bands can tell. We marched through the entire 100 years of Northern Ireland and a little bit more. So we're really, really proud of that. We also wanted to put a positive story out about flute bands because we feel that all too often in days gone by in the recent past, for whatever reason, bands get a really negative press. So we wanted to put our story out there in the public domain, and we hope it's a positive one that everyone enjoys. And most importantly, the book was launched to try and attract new membership. I will come back onto that in a little while, but we really want to try and attract new membership, particularly younger membership. A few highlights whilst working on the book then. I suppose there was two things that jumped out at me. The first thing was the service the band has had with various organisations. It's so many years, I'm not going to go through them all tonight, but just as a small example, Craigie Defenders, LOL 1588, 33 years we've been with them. East Belfast RAF Association, which sadly is no more due to the branch closure, 34 years with them. That stopped in 2017. The County Grand Orange Lodge of Belfast, 45 years. The Lights of Glasgow, LOL 440, 47 years. And the Belfast LOL number 3 district, 55 years. So that was something certainly that jumped out in my mind whilst working on it. I suppose the other thing was the amount of places over the years in my time and also before my time, the band has played. And so outside of Northern Ireland, talking 5 or 6 different countries, including iconic places like the Ulster Tower, Menin Gate, Millar Memorial, big cities such as London, Liverpool, Edinburgh and Glasgow, and also we've even played in the Isle of Man and County Donegal, and we've also played in the Function Suite at Ibrox Park. There's not too many bands who can say that. Inside Northern Ireland, well, in addition to the hundreds of parades in towns and cities throughout the length and breadth of the province, we have played in Parliament buildings, Craigavon House, our 2 big sports stadiums in Windsor Park and Ravenhill Kingspan, some of our local churches, Somme Nursing Home, Somme Heritage Centre, the SSE Arena, and the unique one of the most, probably right at the very top of our city, in Belfast's Cave Hill. So that was another thing that certainly, came first and foremost in my mind. I want to thank, things like this just don't happen. There's a long list of people that we need to thank here, and the band really would love to thank, first of all, Belfast City Council for providing some of the funding for us to help us with this venture. In particular, the Tourism, Culture, Heritage and Arts Unit. The Ulster Scots Agency for funding our refreshments tonight. To Philip Orr, local author and historian. Philip was hopefully going to come tonight, but sadly due to illness he can't travel from England. I'm really sorry he can't be here, but Philip was the author and researcher of the booklet. So Billy Eish and Marcus McCulloch as part of the band's booklet committee for their hard work. Barron Dodds for agreeing to be our guest speaker tonight. Beattie and Vicky for playing the pipes for us. Jackie Henry, photographer for the evening. And also Alan in Edenderry Print, who printed the booklet for us. I'm nearly finished this list. It's a long list. Andrew, Vicky and the band who helped us locate quite a few of the photographs, and also to the Crown Plaza Hotel for hosting us. The band members who were interviewed for the booklet: Kenny Green, Campbell McGrath, Alan Johnston, Billy Eish, Jordan Carrigan, Jamie Glover and Marcus McCulloch. And finally to all of you for being here tonight, making the launch a success. Just want to go back to the point I made earlier about the younger membership. There's a bit of a joke in the band that you go on a Tuesday night and you have to look hard to find somebody under 50. And we do have them, so I'm going to ask the guys to come up here just please. The guys that want to come up, the younger guys in the band. Marcus, Jordan, Matthew, Joshua. I'm going to embarrass them here. Right. Stand in front there. Anything, Mark? Anybody else? No? So we do have them, okay? So these are, I'm going to be embarrassed here. These are some of the finest young men you could wish to have in any organisation. But the message tonight is Millar Memorial Flute Band are recruiting, and particularly from a younger membership. So this booklet hopefully will go some way to help us doing that. I'm going to hand over to Marcus now, who was interviewed for the book and also is one of these young members. Marcus did say, in adding on to that little joke, that you have to look hard to find somebody with hair as well. So I'm going to hand you over to Marcus. Okay, thank you.
Good evening everyone. As James said, I'm Marcus, I'm 19 years old, and I joined the Millar Memorial in August 2014. And it came about because when I had started school in the boys' model, I started playing the concert flute and thought I would give myself a bit of a challenge and learn some more complicated music and get myself into something outside of school as well. So after speaking to my granda and great uncle Albert Boyle, who's also in the band, I decided that I would come along and join the Millar. And after the first time in the hall, got a really good welcome and was listening to really good music and thought that I'd love it. So came along and stayed there. And it's safe to say that the past 7 years in the Millar have been excellent for me, and the band has definitely given me the musical challenge and the extra things that I was looking for. I must say that Mr. Kenny Green and Michael McMurray were definitely amazing tutors, and they have a lot to be thanked for from me personally for helping me to reach the standard I've reached playing the flute and reading music, and also not forgetting the odd session with Uncle Albert too. The band has provided me with opportunities that only come once in a lifetime. One memory that sticks with me particularly is the service at the Menin Gate when we were back at the Somme Battlefields in 2016. And I definitely still get goosebumps when I think of that parade up to the service and how proud it felt to wear the Millar uniform, remembering our fallen at such a dignified event. Even the day trips to Londonderry or the odd weekend in Scotland always bring about great laughs and plenty of memories to look back on in the future. Another important element of being a member of the band that I'm actually really enjoying at the minute is my participation in a scheme which, through which I'm being mentored to enrich a range of skills including leadership, management and event organisation. This programme will be really valuable for me for my future, and I feel it's an excellent opportunity that I wouldn't have had the chance to take part in if I wasn't in the band. When I'm asked to explain why I enjoy being a member of the band, I always think of a quote that I came across before, and it says that a band is a unique entity where musicians start off as a group of strangers and end up like a family. And for me, that's it in a nutshell. Being a member of the Millar is more than meeting up for practice every week and walking to the field and back on the 12th, and that's why I love it and would really encourage other young people like me to come along. Being a member gives you the chance to progress yourself musically, socially and culturally. It's also always really encouraging to hear how much of a positive reputation we have amongst the public. Like James said, sometimes bands don't get the best recognition in the public eye, so we are recognised for our high standard of music and for our decorum on the march and for being one of the longest surviving marching bands in Northern Ireland. And being a member of the Millar, it means being proud, it means being respected, it means having a huge family of folks who will go to the end of the earth for you. And as a young person growing up in the greater Belfast area, bands like ours don't get the recognition that we deserve. And being a member of this band does not reflect the negative connotations that the media quite often portray of the loyalist marching scene. I'm delighted to be here as we celebrate these 110 years and as we reach the milestone of marching through all 100 years of Northern Ireland. And I would really look forward to seeing what the future holds for the band. It would be amazing to still have the Millar Memorial badge on the streets of Northern Ireland for generations to come. And hopefully then this new publication will allow you all to see that. So if you or someone you know is interested in joining the marching band, I would say the Millar's the place to come, and it's not just because I'm in it. I did it 7 years ago and I'm so glad I did. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're enormously proud of our young people. I also just want to say there, the rest of us aren't that much over 50. Just in case any of you are worried about it or wondering. So, ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker tonight here needs no introduction. But let me tell you a wee bit about some of his remarkable achievements in public service. He has been a councillor in Belfast City Council and he was Lord Mayor on 2 occasions, 1988 to 1989, 1991 and 1992. He was a member of the Northern Ireland Assembly when it first started in 1998 until 2010. During that time he held office as the Minister for Social Development, the Minister for Economy and the Minister of Finance. He was the Member of Parliament for North Belfast for 20 years, and in 2020 he has been elevated to the House of Lords as Lord Dodds of Dunkirk. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for our friend Nigel.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Polly, for that very kind welcome, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends, many of you are old friends and colleagues. It's really great to be here tonight. It is a great pleasure to join with you on this very, very auspicious occasion. And I want to thank everyone associated with the band for the great honour you've done me in asking me to speak and say a few words this evening. To think that the Millar Memorial Flute Band was established in 1911, and here we are 110 years later, gathering to mark the publication of this booklet about the band's history. It is really a remarkable achievement, and to do so in Northern Ireland's centenary year is very, very fitting indeed. Sadly, as we know, and it's referenced in the title of the project that the band is undertaking, this centenary year for Northern Ireland has been affected by the COVID pandemic and all the regulations and restrictions and so on. But the fact that we're here tonight celebrating this event for a band, an organisation that is actually 10 years older than the country that we're in, is absolutely fantastic. And anyone who takes any kind of interest or has any knowledge of the band scene here in Ulster has to acknowledge the special place that the Millar has in its history and progression. The reputation of the band is widely known. It deserves its proud reputation, its longevity, its musicality, the talent, the passion and skills of its members are there for all to see paraded across Northern Ireland and further afield, as we've heard, and at events big and small. And as your chairman has said, over the years the band has succeeded in forging long-lasting and enduring relationships with a wide range of organisations, and to have retained those relationships over such a long time, especially when we see how quickly things change and fashions change nowadays, is a massive tribute and testimony to the commitment, hard work and loyalty of its members. But not just the members, but also their families, friends and supporters, all those people without whom it wouldn't be where it is today. And nobody, I know from being involved in many an organisation, nobody should underestimate the importance and the involvement of so many people behind the scenes and their families in organising and making this and other bands the success they are. I won't go over what the chairman has alluded to in terms of the long years of association with the organisations like the County Grand Orange Lodge of Belfast. I'm glad to see our esteemed brethren with us this evening. Almost half the lifetime of Northern Ireland itself, they've been leading the parade on the 12th of July. That's a remarkable achievement. And the bonds that have been forged with the likes of the Apprentice Boys, the Black Institution, the Royal British Legion, and so on. And that's before we come to the many relationships and connections that the band has with organisations and groups at church, community and local level, and as we've heard, across the United Kingdom. So there's no doubt about the incredible, amazing contribution that the Millar has made to the musical heritage of Northern Ireland. And that's why I'm so delighted to hear when I heard about the publication of this booklet, because it will help to fill a gap in the understanding that people have and the knowledge that people have of the band. And I've no doubt it will be greatly appreciated by people who are interested in marching bands generally. And it will be appealed also to people who are interested in our pro-Union and Ulster Scots culture. They may have watched the band parade on the 12th and many other occasions and wondered about its history and where they can find out more about them. And it's to the enormous credit of those who first thought about publishing this booklet and brought it to fruition and worked on it for so long. We owe them a tremendous debt of gratitude, and thank you to them for doing this. And of course, as the chairman has said and Billy has said, we add our thanks to Belfast City Council for its funding and help in producing the book. Now, it cannot be said often enough, in my view, that marching bands generally have made a vitally important contribution to the cultural wealth of Northern Ireland over the last 100 years, and indeed to the Unionist community. Most of us will have very happy memories of being taken at an early age to watch the bands and the parades. In fact, it's one of my earliest memories, and I'm sure it's the same for all of us, and how we look forward to the parades and the colour and the noise and the excitement. The fact that the oldest flute band in Northern Ireland has been in existence for some 185 years tells you all you need to know about the remarkable resilience, tenacity and enduring appeal of marching bands and their wide attraction to people in Northern Ireland. We have some of the best bands to be found anywhere. In addition to the Millar, 600 odd bands in Northern Ireland, the biggest representation of course being flute bands, but we have great accordion bands, silver bands, over 100 pipe bands, some of the best in the world. So bands are important to us and they matter. And when you think about it, it means that thousands of people of all ages and backgrounds are involved in making music and rehearsing and coming together every week throughout the year in Northern Ireland. That's a tremendous thought, and it's a massive contribution to the community arts scene in Northern Ireland. But there are, unfortunately, many misconceptions and trite and facile commentaries around bands and bands culture in Northern Ireland, and we've heard it many a time. And this publication will go a long way to changing, I think, many people's perceptions and to educating them about some of the myths and falsehoods that they hear about bands in general in Northern Ireland. Nobody can really begin to understand the Unionist community or their culture in this part of the world without an appreciation of bands of all shapes, shades and descriptions, of all sizes and backgrounds, to our culture, our traditions and our way of life. Our bands are deeply appreciated and valued by the communities from which they come. And bands also have a very big role, I believe, in the wider promotion of Northern Ireland and our Ulster Scots heritage and culture to people outside our shores. Sometimes we tend to look a lot inwards, but visitors often remark on the colour, the pageantry, the excitement of watching our marching bands in action. Yet closer to home, they're sometimes regarded with fear and apprehension. That's got to change. And I believe that tonight and the events that have been organised and the publication will help to do that. And if we truly mean what is said about a shared future for Northern Ireland, moving ahead and looking to our next 100 years, then the cultural identity of the Unionist and Loyalist community, the Ulster Scots community, and the bands are integral part of all of that, must be fully acknowledged, respected and reflected. And it's important indeed that all sections of the media should reflect that as well. So tonight is something that's very positive and good. Sometimes we don't do that often enough. We need to remind ourselves of the great and good things that we have in our wee country in its centenary years, and certainly the Millar is part of all of that. And we shouldn't be afraid to promote them. We know, of course, in this centenary year, all of us that are gathered in this room, that we have many challenges and difficulties. But you know, down through 100 years, it's always been thus. For years, people have been writing us off, haven't they? But here we are, 100 years on, the band's 110 years on, and the union's still strong. Indeed, there are other parts of the United Kingdom facing greater challenges in terms of support for the union than this part of the United Kingdom. But we mustn't underestimate the challenges, of course. We need to be vigilant. But the message is that united, we can come through whatever faces us, just as we have in the past. The centenary of Northern Ireland is an opportunity to acknowledge and celebrate and rejoice in the fact that we're part of one of the greatest countries and kingdoms in the world. presided over by the most respected head of state in the world, Her Majesty the Queen, as she approaches her glorious Platinum Jubilee. And don't we all wish her well and good health for the future and for next year. And when we look at the great achievements of so many people from across Northern Ireland, scientists, entrepreneurs, inventors, engineers, artists and literary giants and sportsmen and women, we have much to be proud of. And we shouldn't let anyone run us down. Those that would write us off, don't forget they didn't give Northern Ireland any chance of surviving long when it was created in 1921. They're saying the same today, but we know they're going to be proved wrong again. Ladies and gentlemen, in bands like the Millar, there are people and families from different ages and backgrounds, united in working to make the band the very best. And that's what makes it successful, and will carry it forward through its next 110 years. And as a people and as a community, I often say that's the essence of where we need to be. United, different backgrounds, different communities, but we're united with a common theme of wanting to keep this wee country of ours within the United Kingdom, moving forward with a positive vision, building on our great heritage, on our great culture and our great history, going on into the next century and for decades to come. So thank you again for the great honour you've done me, and I want to wish you all, and especially the band, its members, its families and all those who support it, more success in the years ahead. Thank you very much indeed.
Just thought that one too.
Thank you, Nigel, for those encouraging words. And I think everybody agrees with it there. We may be 110 years old, we're certainly not out, and we hope to be about for a long, long time from here on. Thank you. Our next speaker is our County Grand Master, Spencer Beattie. Spencer, would you like to come forward?
Barron Dodds. That's the first time I've ever had the pleasure of addressing you in such a way. I would like to tell you some of the names I've had to call you over the many years of our friendship now, so really difficult to follow such words of wisdom from Lord Dodds, and the respect that he's held in the community in Belfast is second to none. I contacted James through the County Secretary and asked him for a few leads onto tonight, and he sent me through a few details, but it's all been said. I contacted my good friend Campbell McGrath, and he said it's dead simple, Spencer, just stand up and say, thanks for the invite, good luck, see you soon. The relationship between the Belfast County and the Millar Memorial Flute Band started back in 1976. How that came about only came to light to me there tonight, where at 55 years they'd been with Number 3 District. And those who know the members of Number 3 District, and one particular brother in Number 3 District who's no longer with us, I refer to two brothers, and in fact, Brother Dawson Bailey and Brother Billy Murray. I would presume that that was part of that setting up to bring the Millar Memorial to work with the County Grand Lodge of Belfast. County Grand Lodge of Belfast and the Millar are joined at the hip, because when you see the Millar on the road, you see the Belfast County with the colour party in front and the rest of us behind. When you think of those from 1976 through to now, the illustrious County Grand Masters of Belfast who walked with the Millar Memorial Flute Band, if you go back to then, it would have been Tommy Passmore, would have been John McRae, would have been, the dates all slipped through my mind in John McCrae and Bobby Salters, Dawson Bailey, Tom Hare, and the ever-present George Stewart. The Millar winds its way through the city, the county is there with it. And I was listening to all the tunes tonight, and I was thinking in my head, I wonder how far up the Lisburn Road we are now. The last tune gave it away. We just passed the BBC. Because once you pass the BBC, the mood changes. Not with the Millar, of course. They're always there. The Millar have been with the Belfast County on many occasions, far too many to list all out. But they were with us in the tercentenary in 1990 to Strangford playing fields. They were with us in 95 in Loch Gall, and those who were there, what a splendid day that was, where you saw all Orange together in the one field. I can recall, and the party tunes came along in Trafalgar Square as the Millar Memorial Flute Band led the Belfast County round the capital city of England, or the UK. And they struck up Killaloe. And everybody came out of the pubs, the clubs and everything around Trafalgar Square to cheer the Millar Memorial Flute Band. So they must have always played in that success, because those who walk with them on the 12th of July will know when you get to Marlborough Park, the mood changes. We get all the party tunes that you can get coming down till we get down in through Sandy Row, and the Millar Memorial never let us down. They can please the crowd. But friends all, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. It's a pleasure to be part of the launch of your booklet. James in his address said that they wonder sometimes, the young men wonder, men over 50. I bring them in sometimes into some of our Orange Lodges and they'll be shocked. Because none of us have any hair. Very few of us aren't popular or younger than a bus pass age. It's common to us all, but our tradition lies firmly in the hands of the institution and the support of bands such as the Millar. James in his comments made comment to the one occasion where I think we challenged them and challenged them hard, and that was to take the whole band to the top of the Cave Hill. Those who ever want to see it, go and have a look on YouTube and look for the Millar Memorial on top of the Cave Hill, and you'll see in there, in full regalia and dress, all their instruments they're playing. The only one thing I did say to James after the whole introduction was the Londonderry Air, and we had a bit of a disagreement about why we played the Londonderry Air instead of playing the Sash. Absolutely. We can only wish you, all from the Millar Memorial, your chair, and all who have taken part in the production of the booklet, every success as you move that along. We look forward to the long acquaintance between Belfast County and the Millar prospering, and we look forward to participating in any future events that you have, and that we as the County Grand Orange Lodge of Belfast can help and assist in any way. Good luck to you all. Great to see young people in it, and we still enjoy walking behind you on the 12th of July. Thank you very much.
Thank you, County Grand Master. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of night there where James has just said to me there, ask is there anybody else that wants to say a few words. Now, I thought that was a wee bit dangerous because I know a brief few in the audience, and I know they can talk a wee bit. But still are going to ask, is there anybody else who would like to say a few words? I'm not looking at anybody in the band, so if you have their hand up there, and we're not even looking at them. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen then, on behalf of the officers and the members of the Millar Memorial Flute Band, we thank each and every one for your support for this project and for your continued support for our band over many years. The booklet is the first part of the programme. The second part of the programme is a concert in Belfast City Hall on the 11th of May, sorry, the 11th of February. So folks, tickets are already on the go, and if people want to get to it there, please talk to some of the band tonight and get your names down for it. This concludes the official part of tonight's function. We're going to unveil the booklet in just a minute. The booklet, we are not charging for the booklet, but there's always a catch. We do have a suggested donation of £5 to help us defray the cost off. So that brings tonight's formal proceedings to an end. Please enjoy the hospitality that's going to be provided in just a few minutes, provided by the Ulster Scots Agency, who have kindly supported the refreshments, the photography for tonight, and the piper, who, by the way, folks, I think was absolutely fantastic, and I think he deserves it. So, James is going to take over in 1 wee second here from me, but before that I want to urge everybody to get their copy of the booklet tonight while they're on the go. And also, I need to do an evaluation of this event. So we have evaluation forms there that we're going to pass out there. So if you can take a few minutes and fill an evaluation form in for us as well, it will help us keep great with our funders. We hope that we'll work to at some stage there in the future, Jim Rogers, and talk to this again. No pressure. Right. So, folks, I'm going to ask James to come forward now. James.
Thank you, Billy. Just before we launch the booklet tonight, I just wanted to say that the booklet is dedicated to all former members of the Millar Memorial Flute Band who are no longer with us, and in particular 3 vice presidents who we've lost during the COVID period, namely Eddie Rainey, Jackie Stewart and Leslie Carrigan. I'm going to call up now the president of the band, and not only the president, the longest serving member of the band. Robert's been in the band for 66 years. So Robert, will you join me at the front, please? And his wife Maureen as well. Okay, so Robert and Maureen are going to open the first book, and I'm going to ask Barron Dodds to come up as well, please. So Robert and Maureen, open the first book. We're going to present the first book to Barron Dodds, okay? So, here you go.
Tilt her down a little bit. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.